Yo, it's Louie C Rhymes here with Slightly Ignorant Podcast. Host Brian, or Raph, and Brian. Compared to every single man out here, I'm different. My flow is ice cold, y'all are finna start shivering. I'm so sick with bars, y'all are finna start sniffling. Put a hole in your heart, make you feel like Bart Simpson. We finna see some splatter if I battle your crew. This industry's a rabbit, I'm a ravenous wolf. I'm so woke, when I have to sleep, I nap in the stew. I'm so dope, like I actually bought crack in the booth. I'm so low, like Frodo, rolling up a dolo, holding up a GoPro, strolling up to Modo, cold enough to blow smoke, as frozen as some fro-yo. I'm different by design and y'all cannot deny my logo. Y'all remember me just like your grandma's cooking. My shine is so bright, you can't stop looking. I'm finna raise the bar like Roseanne and John Goodman. The way I'm dropping shit is like I can't stop pushing. Your man's not Brooklyn, it's all a facade. He's just trying to be the man so they acknowledge his rhymes. It's all in his mind like all of his squad and all of the blogs. My flow is finna save us, they calling it God. Yeah. Getting it started. What up?
Yo, that was dope as shit, man. That was on point.
Thanks, brother.
That was on point.
Appreciate you having me.
Yo, thank you for coming out.
Cheers.
Appreciate your time. Yeah, man. So, that was a dope performance.
Thanks, brother.
And that was all freestyle, too. So, this shit's like top of the dome. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys. So, welcome to another episode of Slightly Ignorant. Today, we have a special guest, Louie C Rhymes, Brooklyn native, up-and-coming artist. Yeah, dude. So let's talk about your backstory and everything. So when did you start out rapping?
So started rapping 19 years old. Went to SUNY Brockport. Was drinking at a party, doing your classic SUNY bullshit. And there was this kid. So what actually happened is there was this kid who was like bullying but picking on somebody, saying that he could rap or whatever, and saying that he was nice or whatever, and picking on one of my boys. And so I was like, I never had rap before in my life.
Oh, that was like the first time?
That was the first time. I didn't know that I was ever going to rap. I didn't know I was going to rap that night. It was like a joke. Actually, that's a lie. One time when I was in high school, I did a performance of like Victory from Puff Daddy and Biggie Smalls with like one of my boys. But it was like a joke. It was like a parody thing. And I always was into hip hop. So this kid was like being an asshole. And I was like, fuck it. I'm going to make this kid a fool. So I don't remember what I said, but I spit like 4 bars. And, like, people were just drunk and, like, spewing fucking Keystone and Jenny Lights everywhere. And everybody went crazy. And I was 19 at the time. My boy Nate from Buffalo, he went to Brockport with me. He lent me his music mixer. And it was, like, 2 CDs. And you can mix back and forth between the CDs. Yeah. So that got me into, like, throwing beats on and just going back and forth. And that was it. They used to call my room the beat lab. It used to be so fucking loud. I used to bang beats all day long and just freestyle. I wouldn't write.
And it was in a dorm and shit?
No, it wasn't. It was in
off-campus house.
It was in an off-campus house in like a standard like crappy house that like they freaking fix everything in the house with like spackle. Like the refrigerator was fixed with spackle.
And there's like holes in the wall and shit from like nights of drinking and shit.
Like condemned areas, like. Freaking, if you put a blue light or black light on that house, it's shit.
Probably see that shit.
Look like what's that? The Pollock painting or whatever it'll look like. So yeah, I was 19 years old, and that's when it started.
Awesome. So, what did your name come from? From back then too, like Louie C Rhymes, or that's something that you got it over the time that you were rapping?
So, because I'm a teacher,
yeah,
I was afraid to like be forward about the fact that I rap because of the negative connotations that had gone along with being a rapper. Yeah. And so back then what I used to do is I used to make YouTube videos under an alias called Othello. And I used to put out raps under Othello. And then when I got to my first school that I worked at in Queens, I was encouraged by a nice set of people who worked in the school, the principal and the assistant principal, that I should do this with the kids and that the kids would be interested in this.
Like rapping and shit?
Yeah, like rapping and like make a club to rap and like have the kids get the opportunity to write their own rhymes and make their own beats and dance to them and whatever. So I was like, wow, like this is amazing. And I made some rap that they like played over the loudspeakers, and like the kids did like a movement break to it or whatever. And I was like, yo, this is it. Like this is what I got to do. And so that was the moment when I was like, it's time to not be Othello anymore, like where nobody sees me. I was going to be Othello where like you were going to see my face now. I was actually going to go on camera. And the first rhyme that I ever put on camera was over 6 foot, 7 foot Bunch instrumental by Lil Wayne. And that got some good reception back in the day when YouTube wasn't like oversaturated kind of the way it is now. And that made it be Louie C. And then recently when I started putting out singles back in October, I had to have a real like official artist name. And I wanted it to be Louie C, but you know, yeah, I feel like if ever I do get a following, it might turn into Louie C. But I love Louie C Rhymes because like that's what I do, and that's what I'm passionate about. That's the whole purpose. You know why I feel like I'm on this earth. That's my deal. So yeah, so that's what it is. I had to pick a name. It had to be Louie C Rhymes. That's what I do, and the kids know that too when I rhyme in school. So
that's dope. So they call you by your rap name, or
they'll call me Louie C. In the past 3 years, I haven't been in a school. When I was in a school, they used to call me Louie C. Like when they were shouting me out, like "Yo, Louie C!" Like after I would spit a bar, like "Yo, Louie C's crazy," whatever. They sometimes would, you know, Mr. Camacho's got skills, but they would call me Louie C a lot. I wouldn't really want them to because I felt like it was like a level of disrespect. But like now, I look back, I'm like, that was just me being silly and self-conscious.
And how old were the kids? Like
middle school kids.
Middle school kids.
Middle
so
school
they're
kids.
like 13, 12.
Yeah,
13,
yeah. Middle school kids from the Bronx, from Brooklyn. Shout out Cross, shout out Abraham, shout out Jaden, shout out Donovan, Joseph. Those are all my boys. One of my former students from the Bronx, he's playing at Iowa State basketball, or not Iowa State, Iowa basketball, like ranked Big Ten. Boy, is nice. His name's Joseph Toussaint. So, but yeah,
that's awesome. So, so when did you actually realize that you wanted to be a rapper? Was it like right from the get-go of you spitting bars at a college off-campus house, or was it like later on in, after your college years when you actually took it seriously? When did you actually take rapping seriously?
So I took it serious in college, only freestyling. Like we would have to define serious, right? So like serious to me is giving it all my attention.
Yeah.
So for a while I was giving it all my attention in college where I would only freestyle, but I wouldn't put anything out or anything. But like my boys knew I was serious about it, and I would only freestyle, trap myself in the room for hours of freestyle. Went to the school, got encouraged to do it, started doing it with the kids, started being like, I should take this serious, try to drop a lot more YouTube videos. And then somewhere along the lines, my own ego and scared sense of just putting myself out there got into the way. I kind of got a little consumed in my job, which I love, but I love this more than anything. I got consumed with like doing dean work and administration work for schools and focusing on other things. And I would do it from time to time. But then I would say I really started taking it seriously on January 11th, 2019, which was last year. January 11th, 2019, I know the date because I'm a psychopath. And that's the first day that I put out a freestyle over a beat that was 1 minute because I was going to follow that model where I was going to try to put out a minute freestyle at least once a week, if not more. And it was What's the Difference by Dr. Dre with Exhibit and Snoop and M. And ever since then, I've been doing it. Yeah.
That's awesome. And since you dropped those names, who are your the biggest influencers?
Oh man, it's humans are such situational things. Like people will say like what's your most important, what do you value most? And it's like, well, what I value most right now probably has to do with some experience that I just went through in my life, right? So like when somebody just robbed me or robbed my house, my biggest value might be honesty. But when I see some people who are black and brown getting marginalized in my school, then my biggest value might be justice, right? So like I feel like that's the same situation with your top 5 or top 10. I've definitely named this before. I don't care if I say different top 5 now. My top 5, all right, so it's got to be Big L, Big Pun. Yeah, I know who they are. It's Big L. It's probably in this order. 5 is Big Pun, 4 is Biggie, 2 is J.Cole, and 1, believe it or not, is me.
You gotta have that. You gotta go with that mindset, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
now those are fucking really amazing artists too. and they're all New York natives except for J.Cole was here. In
J.
New York
Cole's in
for
Queens.
Queens. He went to St. John's.
Yeah.
But yeah, these were like quote unquote like East Coast rapper.
Yeah.
So you're pretty much influenced by that too, right? Over time.
Yeah, I mean, I like West Coast people. I like some trap, dirty South people, but like not to the extent that I would rap like that. I'm a lyrical person. I always was about the lyrics, not the beats. Well, I was always about the lyrics more than the beats.
Right. Since you mentioned like those rappers, they're heavily East Coast rappers. So were you like influenced mostly by East Coast rapper or rappers?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely East Coast rappers are all about the bars. I feel like. I mean, I definitely like West Coast rappers, some like dirty South trap rappers. But yeah, I've always been like a lyrics more than beats kind of person. I care about the message a lot. Like whenever I listen to shit, if it has a bad message, like I'm kind of done with it. Like, and I hate saying things like this, but like Eminem, who's like I never thought would never be my top person. He really isn't even in my 5 anymore because like
really, damn man.
Yeah, it's like it's sad, but like he's just the bar like that. Yo, he's doing this challenge now where like it's like
the Godzilla challenge.
Yeah, the Godzilla challenge, and it's like, bro, the bars are trash. Like, oh, they're trash, and like he's Eminem.
He's
one of the greatest rappers in the history of the world, but like. He's taken advantage of who he is and his status, and I don't necessarily feel like the bars are his priority. It's the delivery, which is fine.
Yeah.
But I want the bars and the delivery. I want both. I want the lyrical shit.
I mean, he does. I mean, like, he does have bars. I mean, not on the Godzilla song. I feel like certain songs you gotta compromise. Either you compromise for better lyrics, or you compromise for better flow, or the speed of the flow. You know what I mean? Because so everything has to like come in like a puzzle, and sometimes you can't have it all.
Yeah, I agree.
When trying to do that.
I agree.
But I think like his recent album was pretty.
I thought it was good.
Good content.
I liked it, but I
enjoyed it.
I'm like, yo, like I just feel like he wouldn't waste songs on that before.
Yeah, and I feel like those songs like he recorded probably years ahead.
Yeah, I think so.
And he was like, yo, fuck it, I'll just listen to what I could recycle and just put that shit in.
I don't know what the name of it is, but that song with Young Ma, that's the one that I like the most.
That was a good song too.
Yeah, I don't remember what the name of it is, but that's what I like.
Then the other one, Darkness, was a pretty content heavily.
I don't know what off the top of my. I'm sure I heard it.
It was like about the gun violence.
Oh yeah,
Las Vegas one.
Yeah.
So I think like people were bitching about him not having content.
There was content,
but there was content if you like actually listen to it.
That's true.
But I feel like as like when you're rapping for that long, like 20 plus years, like it gets easier to rap, but it gets harder at the same time because you have done so many shit already.
Yeah, what else can you do? Which is fair. I mean, that's why like it's hard to talk about it without people saying, "Oh, Louie C Rhymes just knocked Eminem." Like, I'm not trying to knock Eminem, but like, I don't know. Like, I guess because of my bias, I would just prefer him to just spit bars and lyrics all day and just be M from fucking
from like 1990,
from when he was making Brain Damage and shit like that. Like that's what I'm into.
Those are some good, like one of his best works too.
Yeah, Brain Damage.
But he was like hungrier, I guess, back then.
Yeah, I think. Well, people didn't believe in what he could do yet, so he had to prove himself. I mean, the song "Infinite" is ridiculous. That song, he goes the entire song without changing the syllables that he rhymes with. The entire song, he rhymes with the word "infinite," which is, I mean, it's catastrophic.
And it's crazy. Like it only sold like 30 copies, 300 copies.
I know. And now it gets millions of streams now.
Yeah, because like before, like I don't think he blew up then. That came out in 1996.
Yeah, he wasn't blowing up yet. I think the Slim Shady LP is what blew him up.
Yeah, like 99.
Yeah.
And so on 20.
With like the moon on the cover and all that. Yeah. That was like My Name Is and all that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm definitely more East Coast. Just bars,
Mm-hmm. Who's your, since you named your top 5, just go with your whole top 10. Who's in that top 10 list?
Oh, damn. Royce. So, like, M and Royce definitely. So, like, M, Royce, J.Cole, Biggie. I don't know if this is in order anymore. Big Pun, Big L. Who else is in my top 5? Yo, Marlon Craft. I don't know if you know who that is. That's like a crazy name to throw out there. People will be
Nah,
like, who the hell is this guy talking about?
I don't know who that is.
Marlon Craft is a dope rapper. He's from Hell's Kitchen. He just came out with an album that is getting a lot of love.
Yeah.
He's
I gotta look that up.
Yeah, he's getting like millions of streams. He's dope.
Shit.
He's like a scrawny white dude from Hell's Kitchen, and he raps fire. And like, I'm all about that like conscious lyrical content. So he's that. So that's 7. Method Man is definitely.
You definitely gotta put him there.
Definitely, definitely would
OGs.
put Method Man. Who else would I put in there? Who else would go in my top 5 or my top 10?
King Crook. Who's
that?
King Crook.
King Crook is good.
He's a fucking super
good.
crazy lyricist.
I wouldn't put him. Yeah, he is, but I wouldn't. He's just not.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't put Jay-Z in there. Like everybody loves Jay-Z. I'm not really huge into Jay-Z.
Jay-Z is pretty dope. I never really listened to him like that.
He's good, but he recycles a lot of the rhymes. So
yeah,
it's not my thing. Boz from Dreamville is really nice.
Hell yeah.
And I don't know. I got one left. I'm trying to think. Honestly, like people are gonna hate me for this, but I don't give a shit. Like I used to hate on him so much, but fucking Drake, bro. Drake is fire.
I think he's one of the greats because I mean, well, then again, depends. What do you mean? Define great? You know what I mean?
Right.
But you can't take away anything from the shit that he accomplished.
Of
so
course.
It's like the fucking record sales, the fucking plays, the streams.
Yeah, and like he's got songs that are like heavy, witty bars, and he makes like more than anybody, he makes these girls dance in these clubs, and like he makes people party like nobody has
else
ever really done.
Exactly.
And so for that, I respect him. I used to hate on him, but you gotta be,
you gotta, you can't really,
you can't knock him. You can't knock his hustle.
Exactly. So who's your favorite current artist?
Definitely J.Cole.
Yeah.
J.Cole's definitely my favorite current artist. J.Cole took me out of a place in my life where I wasn't trying my hardest to rap and to dedicate as much effort into being myself and owning my shit and filling my holes. J.Cole's the person who like got me into the place where I feel confident enough to just like walk on the camera and be like, I know people are gonna hate on this. I know people are gonna judge me. I know they're gonna, but like, I don't give a shit. He's the man. Like his lyrical content, his messaging, everything that he does, I feel like is exactly what I align with. And like even the song "False Prophets" that he talks about, he like mentions like how he used to worship this guy, this rapper, and it's really he's talking about Kanye. And like he explains that like the real God is in you, not the rapper you worship, or not the rapper you worship, or not the person you worship, or whatever. And like that like really like hit me, and I was like, fuck, man, like I could always argue with everybody how J. Cole's the best rapper, but like why am I not arguing that I'm the best rapper? And in order to do that, like I gotta fucking rap, like I gotta be there like every night, like every time you want to watch Netflix and chill and watch Michael Scott talk to Dwight and be a fucking fool, like I gotta like you can't do that. Like you want to go play a video game, you want to go drink a beer, you want to go smoke a joint, like can't do that. You gotta be about your craft, because all the people who are great at anything are about that thing.
About that shit. You gotta go all in. Like you get consumed by that shit, and if there's a little bit of hesitation, then might as well not even do it.
Yeah, and speaking of consumption, like for a while, like I would never consider myself like an alcoholic or like a drug addict or anything like that. I never, because I wouldn't even want to knock people who have like gone through that and then made it out or haven't struggled. But like I struggled with like just partying, and like every weekend it was always about like binge drinking and hanging out and partying and smoking and chilling. It was fun while it lasted, but it got to a point where it was like, that's consuming me. Like I'm not really consuming this. Like it's not making me better at what I'm doing. And like I could sit in the studio for 5 hours when like my wife's out with her friends, like just chilling. She goes out to dinner, leaves me home, and like I'm sitting there and I'm drinking 7-8 beers, and like I'm not putting a lyric on the paper, but I'm a rapper. No, you're not a rapper. You're a drinker if that's what you're doing. So like that's kind of where I like realized like, and then like the high you get from those things is like, it's the misconception of like how consumption leads you to like feeling good about yourself, because it doesn't. Because like every time you drink that beer and you think that getting that drunk or getting that high makes you feel good, like you wake up pissed because you didn't do what you wanted to do, which was rap or dedicate time towards whatever you're supposed to be doing. So that's what I learned, is like get the high from like the struggle and the work and the fight of like it's 9 o'clock, you're tired, you want to go to bed, like stay up 2 more hours, don't watch TV and dedicate it to rhyme. And like I believe in that now, and that's what I'm doing, and that's why I can drop rhymes all the time wherever I go.
No, that's dope, because Like I gotta say, people waste a lot of time. Like people say, "Oh, I don't have time for this, and that." But if they actually like step back for a second and actually like sit down one of these days and like see where their time goes to, like the times in between on stupid shit and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure you have enough time to fucking do multiple different,
multiple
goals,
things.
shit. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, definitely. Like you gotta cut away a lot of the bullshit. Like if you really want it, you gotta fucking have to sacrifice for it. That shit ain't just gonna come by itself.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's how I feel.
So do you have any? Because I know you just recently dropped your new single, "Wake Up."
Yeah,
dude, that shit is. I really liked it. The first time you listen, but kind of goes through your head, your head most of the time, right? Then I was like, yo, this is gonna be a couple hours, so let me fucking take another look at it. So I was like, I smoked a joint. I was like, it was like about 10 o'clock. I was like, all right. I was going through your older shit first. I was going through the hopes.
Yeah.
No, I was in holes.
Oh, holes. Yeah.
And I was like, all right, yo, this kid is dope. Then like a minute goes by, 2 minutes, I was like, yo, this kid's fucking dope. Like I was like smiling by myself. Like,
thanks, bro.
You know what I mean? Then I went by the oldest one first, and went up. Of course, and I saw like the improvement too, and every fucking track that you post out. But the most recent one, I think that's my favorite one too.
Appreciate it.
So, I mean, I do see like a lot of J.Cole influence in that. So, yeah, dude, that shit.
Definitely, you're spot on. Yeah. There is J.Cole influence in that.
So what was the whole inspiration behind that single? Like, what made you come up with those topics and whatnot?
So I got to tell you, for my whole life, so when I started rapping, when I came out on camera, when I was a teacher, I was like, I can't curse.
Yeah.
But on January 11th, I decided that I'm going to be myself. Mm-hmm. Be myself doesn't mean curse.
Right.
But it means say what I want to say. And if it just so happens that I have to curse or express a certain emotion, then I can't hold myself back, because that's what I felt like was kind of holding me back. Like I was afraid to be myself and like talk about the things that I was actually doing. So the inspiration for that track is the same inspiration for like the freestyles. It's like I know people can feel it when you're fake.
Yeah.
So like I didn't want to be fake anymore. I just wanted to like rap about like what the truth for me was, and that was kind of like the truth. So the inspiration behind Wake Up is I have a lovely wife who always supports me and is great.
That's awesome.
But she deserves time for her, and we're supposed to, we're married, we have a great relationship, but she wants time for her, and it's hard, but she's very good about letting me go write rhymes and do what I got to do. But sometimes like when I'm writing rhymes, she'll like be downstairs in our apartment, I'll be upstairs in the studio, and she'll be like texting me like, come down, like it's been hours, or like I miss you or whatever. And like she's not wrong, and like I know that most other couples don't have that issue, because like that opposite person isn't really doing something like that. And so what started to happen to me was I would wake up, because like I was saying, like like you were saying, like people become psychopaths about doing what they love. I started waking up early, like just mad early, just so I could write and like focus on music while she was sleeping. Yeah. So like that would be like bonus time,
the extra time.
Yeah. So basically what would happen is like I would try to wake up at like 5 o'clock in the morning. It would be a little too early. Then by like 6 I would be able to get up. Right. And like for a while I was waking up like 6 in the morning on weekdays sometimes, or 5 in the morning, whatever. I was basically waking up early to concentrate on music. And then the inspiration came because like every time that would happen, when she would wake up, she would immediately like text me or like call me and be like, where are you? Where did you go? And I'm like, I'm in our house, like chill out. Right. But and then I would have to go downstairs and like wake up, give her kisses, give her hugs, whatever. And
some orange juice and scrambled eggs.
And orange juice and scrambled eggs, like in the video, and like make breakfast. Like that's exactly what I'm doing. So I was like, let me show people exactly what happens in my life. So that's what you see in the music video. It's like me up in my studio working on the music, escaping the bedroom like while she's sleeping. And shout out to Jared Sutton. He's not here, but he's like my go-to like guru, my boy, my best friend. He films like everything. He filmed all that for me.
That's dope.
And so yeah, that was the inspiration. The inspiration was just like show them actually what happens when you wake up. And yeah, I mean that's what it is.
Would you consider yourself a realist when it comes to being a rapper?
Define realist.
Like you like to talk about things that are going on in your life.
Yeah.
Like things that are relatable. You're not like one of these rappers that are talking about, driving Lambos and
no.
bitches every
No.
day.
And I mean, I think when some people hear me talk about like how I drink and smoke or how I used to do that, so often people are like, yo, that's not him. But like, if you know me, you know what it is.
Yeah.
Not that I'm proud of that, but like, that's just the truth. So like, I have one track, Me, where there's a little bit of that in there. But yeah, I'm definitely a realist. That's definitely what I'm going to talk about. I'm not going to try to be something that I'm not, because I feel like that's fake. Like, I feel like that's like, people will spot that, and then that would make me look even less credible, and people would disrespect my bars even more.
Yeah.
So I feel like you have to kind of be just about your life. And a lot of people who do support me that I've met through social media, like, they'll say like, yo, you're just a regular guy. I'm like, that's exactly right. I'm just a regular dude. Like, I'm no different than anybody else.
Yeah.
So.
Do you write for an audience?
Do I write for an audience? Yeah, I do write for an audience. I write, yeah. So my songs I write for me. My songs that are on the platforms are for me. They're not really much for an audience. They're about me. They're about my life. The Instagram freestyles are for the hip hop heads. Those are for the people who like I know are gonna look at this and like judge me and be like, this guy sucks. He can't rap type people. That's who I'm writing for. And you'll notice in the songs, it's less like witty, heavy, like bars. Like it's more like true shit about like human growth and development and like knowing yourself and owning your own problems and shit. Whereas like in the freestyles, like I'll call you trash. Like I don't care what it is, but like I'll rhyme it. I'll make something witty out of it. You know, because I want to show people that I have multiple skill sets.
That's dope. You know, other than J.Cole, I know he's heavily influenced. I mean, you're heavily influenced by him. If you were to pick an artist, who would you collaborate with?
Other than J. Cole.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I'm going to say the two. I've been trying to collaborate with this kid. I don't care. I don't care how bad it sounds. I don't care what any of these hip hop heads think about me. If you don't know this kid, you should know this kid. This is the only kid who, like, I will say that is, like, I feel like he's blowing me out of the water, and I'm always hard on myself. But like this kid, Lil D raps. I love this kid. I met him in person. I bought some merch from him because I wanted to support him. And
Where's he from again?
He's from Coney Island. He's fire. He's in like all different types of magazines and shit. He's been on the news. His bars are ridiculous.
How old is he?
He's 15 years old.
Damn.
And him and J. Cole really like were the influence. Like J. Cole's message got me to thinking, and then his doing, like there are thinkers and there are doers, and like this kid's a doer, and like watching him do it, and especially I followed him when nobody followed him,
right?
Like when he was getting like 300 views on his videos like I am. I told him this when I met him. I'm like, bro, you got me out of a big hole, because like I saw that you were doing it, and like it made me feel like I could do it, or at least should do it. So if I could ever collaborate with him, he would honestly be my first choice. Like obviously, yeah, like I'll rap with the baby. Like you want to make me a millionaire, go ahead. But like in terms of like a real rapper, that kid he's at the top of the list. Yeah,
that's what's.
And I recommend everybody check him out.
That's awesome. Yeah, definitely gotta check him out.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of fucking, you know, being a musician or a rapper, it's love and hate type of relationship, right? What do you love the most about being a rapper / an artist, and what do you hate about it?
I think it might be the same thing. Like I love how obsessed I am with it.
Yeah.
But I hate how I'm always like playing this game in my head when I'm like feeling like maybe I don't want to be obsessed with it for 1 second.
Right.
And that's like the problem. It's like I don't have like free time is only rap time. Mm-hmm. There is no, well, it's rap time, and it's like learning, so I can like then put it into my raps, like watching conspiracy videos and about how like black and brown people are marginalized, and about how like humans are farmed in different cults, and like people believe that they have allegiance to certain things because of their identity, and they're fully tricked by all of that Republican Democrat shit. I don't care what anybody says; it's all a big trick. The system is broken, and it was made broken on a reason, on purpose, to keep people basically powerless and to keep certain people in power. And those are white men, and I don't give a fuck. I'll say it. I don't care what it is. I often get portrayed as a white man. I'm not going to say what I am, because I don't think it matters. But the point is that like that's what I do. Like I constantly am researching, and I'm constantly looking at like what the truth is from multiple angles, as many as I can, and I'm constantly like asking my friends questions. See, one of the things that I've learned is like the minute you say you know something, you actually know nothing.
Yeah.
Like that's a big problem.
I definitely agree with that. 100%.
Like I was that kid. Like I was like, I know. Like this is the way the world works and this is why. You don't know shit. I maybe know like a tiny sliver now, if that, like a minuscule piece.
Yeah.
But that's what you realize when you start learning. And what you do is you stop making claims, you start asking questions.
Yeah.
And I learned that from one of my biggest inspirations that I met at my job, my colleague Ronnie Yoda. He was another big instrumental piece into. I told him I was done, and he kind of just. I'll never forget one day we were in the office, and he just kind of looked at me. He was like, "You sure?" Like, and he asked me questions.
Yeah.
He asked me about why I was done, and he made me think about it. He didn't tell me that I shouldn't be, but just by him questioning me, it kind of made me realize, like, yo, you shouldn't be done.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have a real good reason. You're just afraid. So. I don't know if I went on a tangent.
That's a good friend.
Yeah.
It's definitely a good friend.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to, I feel like, I think he noticed that you don't want to go, be at a point in your life where you regret not doing it. And that's like the worst thing to live with, like regret.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can't really do anything about it. So that's even more fucked up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
yeah.
How do you see yourself? Actually, before I even get to that question, because since we're talking about conspiracy shit, I have to ask you this: do you think the moon landing was faked?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know enough about it. That's like one thing I used to do. Like I would like talk on shit that I didn't know anything about. I don't really know enough about it. I wouldn't be surprised, or if something like that was fake, but I really have no knowledge on, like, I haven't researched it to that point. I'm very big into like capitalism, against capitalism.
Yeah.
So the problem is once you say you're against capitalism, they say you're a socialist. I'm not a socialist, but I'm definitely not a capitalist. And I'm big into like finding out the way that like money influences the world. I just spit a rhyme about the Federal Reserve and how people like Rockefeller, Morgan, Rothschild,
Chase.
JP Morgan owns. He's the originator of Chase, so he's the reason why Chase exists. How they own the Federal Reserve, and the Federal Reserve has never been audited.
Yeah,
never been audited. Never. And the Federal Reserve is not owned by our government, and the IRS is also not owned by our government. And tax money is not necessarily collected on behalf of the government. It's collected on behalf of the IRS, which is not owned by the government. 63 cents of every tax dollar goes to military. That's this year. And in the past, the max amount, or the amount was like 57, like 5 years ago, 57 cents. So all this stuff, like people want to get into like candidates and Republicans and Democrats, and it's all just a trick to entrench you further in your point of view. The other thing is like there's a great man, I forgot his last name. His name is Peter something. He wrote a book called The Giant about the 17 biggest industrial, biggest richest people in the world. They're like, he calls them giants because they run the world. And there's this group who you should look up called the Atlantic Council. And the Atlantic Council is this group that has 199 people that sits on the board of it. And you'll find that the chairperson of the Atlantic Council, I forgot his name, but I figured it out the other night. He's a high-level member of Goldman Sachs. Hunch.
What a surprise.
What a surprise, right? Shocking. Anyway, so he's the chairperson for this organization. There's 199 people that sit on this committee, and the Atlantic Council determines 80% of the news that comes out on our networks. And Omnicast, one of the biggest owners of all the news networks, owns MSNBC and Fox and all them. So like people are like, oh, this channel is this. They're all one. There was this picture that I put out that said something the other day along the lines of like they put like fire behind like Trump and Bush and like a halo above like Clinton and Obama, and they say like Democrats want you to think this, and then they show the opposite, like Republicans want you to think this, and they put like a halo above Bush and Trump and fire behind
whoever's
Obama.
against it,
right? And then at the bottom it says, but the truth is, and then they're all under fire, because that is the truth. That's what I believe, at least in my humble opinion. And I think that, like I said, human farming before. My buddy Ronnie just showed me this video the other night about like how humans are tricked based on capitalism, and like the fall of the Roman Empire happened where they were basically forcing people to do labor, but those people were making, you know, a certain amount of money and paying profit to the Roman Empire, and then it collapsed. And what they did nowadays is that they actually let you have a choice into how you go about making your capital, which profits them more, which is why they give you that choice. And so like
it's like a modern day slavery.
Yeah, it's modern day. It's exactly what it is. It's like modern day slavery. And like, you know, I'll even get into like, I argue with my buddy Sutton, who's like, he's a little bit more of a pragmatist than me. Like, I don't trust nobody. I think it's all bad. I'm not gonna lie. I think all the people in power are all bad. I'm not gonna lie. But like the coronavirus, like the last successful protest with the coronavirus happened on the Chinese Lunar New Year, which was January 26th. It lasted till January 28th. The coronavirus is deemed a public health international issue on January 30th. No more protests. The reason why there were protests is because of the basically, well, I forgot the name. It was like the Fugitive Act or something that the Chinese mainland wanted to have power over Hong Kong in a certain way that they could extradite criminals. And the people didn't want that to happen. And so, well, what do you do if you want people to stop organizing? You throw a fucking virus at them.
Right.
And it happened back in the 1700s, back in Amherst, Massachusetts, when Jeffrey Amherst gave the Indians or the Native Americans smallpox blankets.
Right.
It's not a new strategy.
Even in 1957, when the influenza, and even during the Spanish, the Spanish flu.
What happened with that?
In the 1800s, like 60 million people died.
That was in 1800s. That was
19. Yeah, whatever.
People died from the Spanish flu and from World War One.
And do we know if like it was made and given to them?
So I don't know. So like I recently.
It was actually like a real disease that spread and was augmented by the fact that there was a war going on in Europe.
Yeah.
And
it's ironic, right?
Yeah.
I feel
that timeline happens.
I feel like they want to shift the attention from one thing to another.
That's exactly right.
And also like every time like when there's election going on and shit like that, at any type of governmental.
Yeah, it's a political standpoint.
Exactly.
It's an issue. It's something that they can argue over and they can win you over on and make you identify with.
Exactly.
Identity is a big problem, but humans don't know how to live without it. See, identity, whether your national identity, your religious identity, your racial identity,
or you're lost in the sauce.
Right. Whatever identity you have often separates you.
Yeah.
But if we all identified only as human beings, we would be strong. And if we were strong, they wouldn't have the power. But that's why they always create identities. That's why even in music culture, people identify with hip hop, rock and roll, folk, country, whatever it is. And it separates the strength of people really understanding that like all music is technically good music. It just depends on what the vibe is and what the mood is.
Sorry, I had to tell.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
What?
You were holding the mic.
Well, I don't know. When I speak, I was like, bring it up.
Yeah,
But,
you're not gonna
like,
straight rapper it like that.
It's not a dick, alright?
Oh, damn. Yeah, I choked it a couple of times.
So yeah, I don't know where we were, but conspiracies and all that.
So you think the coronavirus is fabricated?
Absolutely.
I think it was made for population control. I don't know.
So there was a lot. There was a lot, and I'm not fully well versed on it, but there was a lot of news that came out recently about certain Chinese members of government who came to America and worked in, I believe, Harvard University. And got caught like moving vials of like substances.
Didn't
that
the
were
professor
made
get
in
arrested
labs.
too by the FBI or something?
And like people like want to blame it on like, oh, they were eating bats and snakes because that's the easiest way to get people to like make them think that that's what the truth is. Like, oh yeah, and everybody wants to have their judgments about like Chinese people. Oh, Chinese people are gross. They eat bats and snakes. Like, you fucking morons, bro. Like, they don't eat bats and snakes. Maybe some of them do,
not
but there's
everybody.
fucking people are out here mutants. Like, it don't matter whether you're white, black, brown, orange. Anyone could eat a bat or a snake depending on what situation they're in and what they've been forced to be, what pressure they're under.
Absolutely.
So like when it came into like that Wuhan started, it's like, yeah, Wuhan technically is where they documented it, but they get to control that. They get to control where it came from or like where, it was documented first in the timeline. But like, I think it was made in like, I don't see. Like people will say like, well, what reason would the Chinese government have to like it would cause economic harm? And it's like, yeah, but no, like they've had population issues for years. Like I don't know. I don't trust that they wouldn't mind losing a few 100,000 million people.
Yeah, that's fine with them because especially when there's like shit ton of people, like 1.3 billion people.
Yeah.
China, what's 100,000?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
but there's the fucked up part though. You know, that's like inhumane. But
yeah.
I guess you gotta do what you gotta do if you're a government. And I feel like the Chinese government like hides a lot of shit too.
I think all governments do.
All governments.
Because I think the problem is that we all think that the governments, that the governments run the world, but it's not. The governments do not run the world. The corporations run the world, and above the corporations are the banks, and there are privatized people who run and own those banks. And Thomas Jefferson knew that if you privatize banks, you literally forfeit any right or freedom that you have.
Who owned the German Federal Reserve? Was the Rothschild?
The Rothschilds. The Rothschilds.
So
they were the original.
I feel like they
Rothschilds
owned the
they're at the top. So the World Bank, I'm pretty sure, is owned by the Rothschilds with maybe some others that are in there. But these,
you know, even the Saudis, like, I feel like it's not even the Rothschilds, like just a bunch of different people that are in fucking power with money, like that Saudi the royal family.
Yeah,
they have like fucking couple of $1 trillion in net worth. You know what I mean? So like they own like I mean, they don't own it, but they do a lot of the fucking control over the the natural crude oil shit in the Middle East.
Right.
And since they have all the power too, like in the Middle East, they own a lot of their banking system too.
Right.
It's it's very like regional, but at the same time, like, but
dude,
the Rothschild, they just own the whole.
Yeah, they say that the Rothschilds could have up to like tens of trillions. 1 trillion is 1,000 billions.
Billions.
That's fucking ridiculous. So like, I'm thinking like I'm like going rogue. I'm like going Batman. I'm like, let's fucking find them. Let's get them out here and let's fucking put a gun to their head. No, I'm not this man. Like, I'll edit that out. But like, let's find them and let's fucking like get them. Like let's expose them. Let's get them. But like, you can't because they don't have that money in the bank.
Yeah,
that money is all assets. It's all in different companies,
real estate.
Yeah, they don't have like, I'm sure they got cash, but they don't got like that amount of cash.
Yeah, but cash is useless. Like cash is like, if you have let's say you have $10 million in cash, and fucking 20 years from now, that $10 million cash is not gonna be $10 million.
No, it's not.
Gonna be
I mean, it will be that amount in cash, but it won't be worth what $10 million was.
Exactly.
The other thing that I was gonna say is, so like, even when like you go buy a house, how do you even know that they're actually loaning you the money? Banks are only they're only required to have 10% of the money that they loan out in the bank.
Yeah.
So that means that they can give you a loan to your house. When you buy a house, I don't know if you've ever bought a house before, they don't show up with no suitcase and they have a 500 grand in a box and they say, here you go, to the house owner. That's not how it works. They punch a number in a computer and you automatically now owe that and you have to pay interest on that. And you don't even know if they actually had it from the beginning to give to you.
Yeah.
You only know that they punched it in the computer. That's some shit right there.
Some fucked up shit.
And they got us paying interest on money that might not even exist.
And they just keep on printing that shit too.
That's exactly right.
Well, that's the reason why if you've ever tried to withdraw money from your account above a certain limit,
they make you
make you verify a lot of
because they
shit.
have to get it.
I'm not trying to brag, but one time I had to withdraw, like $5,000.
Oh shit, balling.
I've had to draw a little more than that when I got my wife's wedding ring, and the same thing happened.
And they like made a big fuss.
Yeah, bro.
Like they had to bring the manager out, like ask me.
Yeah, bro. I know.
But yo, it's my fucking $5,000, dude. I try to take a $2,000, and they're giving me a fucking hard time. I'm like, yo, why you want the money? I'm like, yo, I need the money to fucking.
It's my money.
What do you mean? Like,
why do I have to explain it to you?
Right? Like, I just need. They're like, oh, do you have a fucking account with us? Well, so it wasn't my bank account, right? But it was my money. I used it.
Oh,
so,
right. So now you're doing offshore things.
Okay, now So that
Raph was going offshore on us.
But either way, it's like they were like, yeah, do you have an account with us? Because if I were to say yes, they would have given me the money right away.
Right.
But since I said no, I mean technically I do have an account, but I said no.
Right.
They were like, yeah, since you don't have an account with us, we got to go through this fucking verification and bullshit and stuff like that. I was like, just fuck it, give me back the check.
Yeah. I'll go somewhere else. I'll do it differently.
I just took it out from the ATM.
I could
have just done that.
Yeah. But their banks are only required to have 10% of what they loan out, which is a big problem.
Because they take your money and they reinvest in other shit like real estate and like company stocks or like fucking wars or whatever it may be.
Yeah. And I'm so sick of hearing that real estate is the best investment and everybody should be investing in real estate. And it's like, yeah, I get it. That's
it's partially true.
It's partially true, but like it's also banking on the idea that all that money is actually real.
Money's it's not
money's
real.
It's technically not real.
It's
if you
like
really think
fucking
about it,
if shit goes down, like when it comes down to like, let's say this coronavirus shit goes like fucking
crazy viral and all three of us got it.
Like 1,000 fucking percent and everybody becomes a zombie and shit. You ain't gonna worry about fucking money.
Yeah.
At that point, you're gonna be worrying about like, yo, how the fuck I'm gonna eat.
Even think about it, like even if the coronavirus hits, like, well, the coronavirus honestly, like, I'm definitely not excited about, but it's definitely a fear tactic. It's definitely a scare tactic. And it does actually have a high percentage rate of living. I mean, the flu doesn't have a cure. It has a vaccine. Yeah. So it's not like it's going to kill everybody.
People die from influenza more than
anything. It's actually like, that's like the number one killer of like old people and pregnant people is influenza.
Yeah. You actually don't want a virus to have a high mortality rate. That's a bad virus.
Yeah. Right.
Because it'll just kill everybody and it won't spread.
Right.
The best viruses have low mortality, so they spread.
Wow, I never thought about it like that. Yeah.
But their mortality rates
you know what else? Like as soon as something like this type of catastrophe type of shit happens, all the stocks plummets.
Yeah, so the economy goes bad.
So people sell a lot of shit, and people with the money, people like, yo, yeah, I'll buy your shares and I'll fucking hold on to it. Then those are the times when there's a huge dip. So they buy all that shit and then they manipulate the fucking market after like a year or two.
That's absolutely
or
what
even
they
do.
Yeah. Yes. if you're looking to get into Wuhan, now's the time.
And fucking there was this like other fucking conspiracy type of shit, like like in China, I don't know, I could be wrong, but I don't give a shit, so that's why it's called Slightly Ignorant. But they said that if you got the virus, quote unquote, they just exterminate you and say that you died.
So I don't.
So they kill you and saying that, oh, the virus is killing you, but actually
they kill you.
They kill you,
and that's population control.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know if that's true. I wouldn't. Again, I wouldn't say it's true. I wouldn't say it isn't. Right. But I mean, I've seen some videos of like, you know, like the subtitle, like the big heading or the meme reading will say like, this is how they deal with people in China who have the coronavirus. Yeah. And like they'll start like beating them with like
spraying.
Yeah, they're spraying them and like beating them with like nightsticks and shit. Like it's crazy.
Beat that living fucking coronavirus out of you.
And again, it's like, could that video even be fake, or like, is that really what every person is doing? It's like, it's funny. It's funny how they say weapons and armies and war kills everybody, but that's what they use and to solve all of their problems.
No, for sure, absolutely. But we could go down this rabbit hole like fucking hours and hours and hours. But let's go back to the music thing. If you could like change one thing about the industry, what would it be? Because you know the industry's kind of fucked up. Yeah. Like every industry is fucked up.
Every industry. I mean, it's like once there's capitalism involved, things are fucked up.
But then again, capitalism makes the world go round. You know what I mean? Because without capitalism, you wouldn't have rich people.
Right now, capitalism makes the world go around because that's the way that it was set up to go. I'm not saying that I have the fix for it, but in terms of this industry, and I think it's almost every industry, it's like the fakeness. Yeah. It's just the fakeness. Like, yo, like, you know how many people comment on my shit or like hit me with like DMs like, yo, you need promo, I could give you organic Spotify promo and all this shit, and it's like,
no you can't.
No you can't, you're using bots. I know you're using bots, but like I know people aren't going to be likely to listen to me if they go up to my songs and they see it's got 40 views, so it's like you kind of have to play into it a little bit, you know, like,
or like 5 million stream on SoundCloud by one comment and shit like that.
Exactly, like you know it's fake. So, I mean, I've tried to do my best. I have used Facebook and Instagram advertisements, and, like, they just rape you. They just want your money. They're just taking your money. But there are some strategies that I've learned about how to market it where you might actually be able to get some, like, blips on the Spotify radar where they can see that you're, like, getting attention, and they'll put you in playlists and things like that. I'm not there yet, but that's what I'm obviously aiming for. But, yeah, if I could change anything, it would just be the constant, like, fakeness. Like, if you're a promoter, you should be able to offer me something, and I should be able to say, okay, I'll want it or I won't.
Yeah.
Not, is it real or is it fake?
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
When you approach it that way, then you know it's kind of sketchy.
It's a sketchy thing. And like, the other thing that the internet has done is like, when I first put out my 6 foot, 7 foot video back in YouTube in like 2011, like it got like 10,000 views in like 3 months. Right now, I think it's at 13 or 14,000 right now, like 7 years later from those 3 months.
Yeah.
Or 8 years later. Now things are so oversaturated because all you need is a GarageBand laptop and a mic.
You have a quality sounding,
and you have a pretty quality sounding studio, and like it's great because it gives a lot of musicians who would never have the place to
rent and
be
shit.
and enter the game. But it's also bad because then it lets the industry control the market a little bit more, and they have such a plethora of garbage to choose from, and they can often put garbage out there. Most of the music that we listen to always reinforces capitalism. Always reinforces the buying of material and
like money, fucking,
and buying
and
things
shit.
in order to feel better, do better, live better. And that's a part of the problem is that like I don't believe in that, and it's rare that even in the news like you never see that like money's the problem. It's like money's the solution. We just came up with a new vaccine. We'll sell it to you for $500. Like that's that's always the solution. Money's always the solution. So like I don't know. I guess with the industry, I just wish you could just like rap, and I wish there was just like a clean way to like tier people. Like, but music is an opinionated thing, so you can't really tier people like that. But like I don't care what anybody says. Like, I'm not being cocky. Like, I know myself. I listen to music all the time. I listen to new artists all the time. I give new artists props. I know I can rap. I don't give a fuck what anybody tells me. I'm not going to tell you I'm the best rapper in the world, although I believe that in my brain, but I'm not going to say that to everybody else because their perception of the world is different. Yeah. But, like, I know I can fucking rap. And I know that my lyrical content is strong compared to a lot of the industry rappers. But it doesn't mean anything. Yeah. And that's part of like my frustration with the industry.
Yeah, I feel like they will promote you if you could, like, if your shit sells another day. So like if you feed somebody garbage for an extended period of time, they're gonna start to believe like, yeah, this a hot garbage. I mean, cause you're comparing to all the other garbage.
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, like music is like subjective too.
Yeah.
So it's like.
And that's why I feel like good music can make a breakthrough. And I feel like that's what I feel like if I make it now, and when I say make it, I mean like just make some decent money off of it now. If I could get to that point now, then like my music is good. Yeah. Because like if you have to fucking be on it, like you got to be putting shit out. Like Biggie didn't put no tracks out every month. Biggie didn't put no tracks out every. He wasn't freestyling every week, every 3 days. He didn't have to do that. Now he's nice. But I guarantee you there were dudes during Biggie's time, and people don't want to hear it, but that could rap nice like he could.
I mean, if not better.
If not better.
I'm pretty sure there's, like, Eminem, like, technical rapper-wise, I think he's probably, like, the greatest of all time. But Fair. I'm pretty sure, like, there's somebody else out there that didn't get the exposure. Is probably 10 times better than Eminem.
Dude, I've seen rappers who have 800 views on their videos, and I look at them and I'm like,
how the fuck this kid did not blow up?
And then I'm like, shit, I'm like, I gotta go to work. Like this kid is nice. This kid, in my opinion, just like he just stepped up to Royce and he just like made him look like he belongs there.
For example, like Royce, he's actually, dude, he's insane.
Royce is insane.
I think like bar for bar, pound for pound, he's probably better than Kendrick, probably better than Cole.
I think better than Kendrick, not better than Cole, but he's a bar rapper. His Hot 97 Flex freestyle with Primo was absolutely insane.
Like I feel like he's like one of the top like technical rappers out there.
I agree.
Tech 9.
Yeah, Tech 9 is good too, but I don't see like he don't strike me as good as Royce.
He's just like you can't have too much of anything. You know, it has to be like nowadays like rapping fast is cool and all, but that shit doesn't sell as much.
Dude, my whole thing when I started on January 11th was like, I need to show people that I can rap. But my understanding at that time of what it meant to be able to show people that I can rap was to like delivery. Yeah. And then I started listening to this kid, Lil D, and he raps a little bit slower. He can rap fast too. He shows that. But like he's dropping bars on these people. He's 15 years old. He's dropping bars like hard, like slamming them. And I'm like, holy shit. Like, it's not just about your delivery. Yeah, it's about like what you say and then how you say it.
It could be just the energy that you bring. It's that's why you know, there's no rule to like, all right, you need this and that, and
To
you'll be fucking
successful, right?
It's like whatever people, because you're gonna have fucking audience that likes only lyrics.
Yeah.
You're gonna have audience that only likes the
Beats,
beat,
yeah,
only fucking likes your energy and shit like that. So it's like, who you cater it to? You know what I mean? So it's like,
and you
there's
have
no
to be
rule.
you have to be specific with it. I mean, you definitely, the other thing that sucks is
like longevity wise, you want to be specific with it.
Yeah,
because you want those fans. Because like something that bumps right now may not be bumpable, if that's a fucking word. But like a couple of months or even
Later
years
on.
from now, you know what I mean? Because the fucking trend changes all the time.
And I do think now more than ever, like, unfortunately, if you do want to be successful in this industry, you do have to put money into it. You do have to.
Sure.
You do have to promote yourself. You do have to spend money on things. And I was against that for years. That's kind of why I stopped.
Promote yourself.
I felt like when I first started, you didn't really have to do that. If you were nice with the music, you could break through. But now I feel like you really do have to promote yourself.
You have to, because there's so many nice rappers, musicians out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially nowadays, like everybody wants to be, you know, the next big thing.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
So it's like,
of course.
now it's more of like, who's a better marketer?
Yeah, and people,
you know?
like, my boy Sutton has like asked me, like, well, what do you want to accomplish with this? And like, I really just want to, like, my first goal was like, I want to fucking help people. I want to make people realize that like that they're often not getting the most out of themselves.
Right.
And like, I'm not trying to speak for people, but like, we're so constantly worried about consuming the next thing, and we don't really think about like what we have and what we can do with what we already have, and like how we don't spend our time effectively and meaningfully on things that we know we want to do and make us better. And that's kind of what I wanted to achieve more than anything. Like, and I want to get us to a place where like, or I want to get to a place where I can expose some truth, and I have a following that can like help support what I'm trying to say. Not because I'm right, but because like people deserve to have an opportunity to hear something that can help them know themselves a little bit more than what they normally hear. Like, listening to what we normally hear doesn't help us know ourselves.
Yeah.
It makes us further from that. It makes us believe that we need things that we don't really need to know ourselves. And that's what I want to do. Like, I want to change that for people.
So that's where you want to be as an artist, pretty much.
Yeah.
Time from now.
Yeah. And like,
That's
I look
dope.
at it like, you know, however many followers or however many people I could affect, like, in a positive way, that's the real gain. Like, and the unfortunate, like, I'm sitting here, like, I'll be honest with the camera. Like, I was talking to my boy Sutton today. I'm like, should I just buy like this guy hit me. He's like, yo, I'll give you 3,000 Instagram followers for $50.
But that kind of fucks up with the algorithm, because later on when you do the marketing, the platform doesn't know if these are
If
it's
so, but here's
audience
my
that you
thing.
wanna-
So it's like it could, but then like when a real person sees my page and they see that I got 10,000 followers now,
the engagement is shit. Then
but they
it
might
feels
be
like-
more likely engaged by the fact that I have that stat.
Yeah, but
Like, think about when you look at a rapper who's got 1,000 followers.
yeah,
If you don't hear his music, you're probably gonna say he's not that good.
yeah, based on the following, yeah.
So like, that's something I'm like considering. Like, should I just buy these fucking followers? Like, now I know they're bots. I know they're not real followers. I know they're fake.
Yeah.
But like, this is where we're at. This is the position that we're at. Like, people, I'm not gonna mention his name because I like him because he talks to me, you know. But there's this kid on Instagram. He's got album streams, 100,000 album streams. He dropped an album a month and a half ago. I look him up on Spotify. He has those streams. I mean, like, he's got 22,000 followers on Instagram, and he's got like 16 comments.
Yeah,
And I'm like, dude, like, I know it's not real, but like, at the same point in time, like, if you're getting paid for those album streams, you're getting money, like, whether they're bots or not. If you're getting, but then it's like, how much did you pay for them? Because it might not be worth it. Because 1 million streams is $7,000 on Spotify.
Yeah.
I ain't a lot of money.
But do they have a like a system where they know if it's you only get paid for unique visits or like?
I don't know. I don't think so. I've never been notified about like, you have bot followers or but I haven't done that so far.
Yeah.
I might at some point. I mean, I got people who say they promo for JID and all these people, and like, real artists do promo.
Yeah.
Like, they actually like pay people, like real artists could pay $10,000 to get put on like playlists on Spotify that are like America Top 100 or whatever.
Yeah.
And like, you know, they get plays from that. Yeah. Are they bots? I don't fucking know.
Yeah, but if you have the money, like
if you have the money,
it boosts up your fucking you know, the whole process. It just makes it a lot smoother and faster. But for example, even to create a professional like music video probably costs you between $5,000 to $15,000.
Yeah, if
You know
you're
what I
gonna make
mean?
a
If
real
you're gonna
one,
be like a
yeah,
real one.
yeah.
So it's like then you market that shit over like months. You just don't market for 1 month. You know, you market for a consecutive
Months.
amount of months, and you'll probably take 2-3 months for you to get the attraction. It might take a year.
Yeah.
You know, there's songs that have been marketed for like 2-3 years prior to that even being
blowing up.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, it's a play to play in capitalism, like you said.
Yeah.
So it's like,
And it's hard. One of my biggest supporters, who is viral, like legit viral. His name is Milo the Cat. I don't know if you know who that is.
Nah.
He makes. He's got like 200,000 followers on Facebook.
Nice.
He's got like 169 or maybe like 150 on Instagram. He makes those. I don't know if you ever seen these videos of like rappers rapping their songs, but it's not rappers. It's like cartoons rapping rapper songs.
Oh, nah, I gotta check that shit.
He's
That
actually
sounds
viral.
dope.
And I messaged him like randomly, like, "Yo, would you mind checking out my music?" And like people say don't do that. I'm like, whatever, I don't care.
Yeah, you get it. You
just
got
gotta
it.
try.
It takes one person.
You just gotta try. So he was like, "Yo, you're pretty dope," and he showed me love, and he posted one of my singles, Dreamwork, and he got it up to like 3,000 or 3.7K on Facebook. He posted one of my freestyles. He got it up to 10K on Facebook.
Shit, that's dope.
Yeah, so like Milo the Cat, one of the things he said to me, he's like, I remember how because he was doing his shit for a while. He's like, I didn't go viral for a while.
Yeah.
He's like, so I know what it's like to be somebody aspiring and doing it. So like Milo the Cat, for real, thank you for everything you've done for me and supported me with. And one day, if I have the money, we're gonna work together. We're gonna make a real deal music video, because I want my shit to be rapped by a cartoon one day. For real.
That's dope though. That's fucking. I feel like that's a different way to fucking engage people. Now, you know, since you have like 4 singles out right now, do you have any upcoming maybe shows that you're planning on to do, or like another single that's probably right around the corner?
I wish I could get a show. I wish I could do a venue. I mean, I've done open mics, countless open mics. Haven't really done many recently, but in my life I've done at least 60, 70. Used to do a lot of them back when I first started rapping when I was like 21. Now I'm 31. That was like 10 years ago. I probably will do some more open mics as they come. And as it's the thing about open mics is they're usually not on the weekends. They're usually on weekdays. Yeah. And I got a legit day job.
Yeah. So
like, and they usually don't like start till 9 and they end at like 1. It's like they're in the city and I'm not trying to do it. So I would, and my thing is like, I'll go to a show and put on a show for free. I actually did a show over the summer. New Village Music Festival. It was pretty dope. This guy Dasso, shout out Dasso. He just put me on. I didn't have to pay him. He told me, he's like, I'm gonna try to get you paid in the future. That hasn't happened yet, but it's not his responsibility. He was nice enough to put me in his platform. There was a nice little crowd there that day. I rapped, got a few followers. I was on like a poster. It was nice. It was cool. Makes you feel like you're an actual artist. But I never really got a venue. But I think that's coming as long as I continue to pursue this. Yeah. I'm always working on a single. I have a single finished right now. I'll show you after the camera goes off. Nice. I'll show you the rough draft.
Awesome.
It's not fully finished, but it's basically finished.
Are you planning on releasing it anytime soon? Or?
My goal is to do once a month, which I've been able to do so far. I'm planning on releasing it. Before the end of March. I actually want to release 2 by the end of March because I have one that's like rough draft finished and I have one that's like done that I don't even need to touch. But I am big into like the marketing of it, and they say you're not supposed to drop it unless you have a visual or a video with it. Yeah. So that's the problem. Is like you have the song done, but like you don't have the video done.
Now that takes money and time, and just slows the whole process.
Exactly. So that's what I'm really gonna be working on. Besides the freestyles, in the meantime, is just like making the videos for these songs. But I went on vacation in Mexico, and like I do every time. Like when I went to Paris, I did a freestyle in front of the Eiffel Tower. When I went to Mexico recently, I filmed the whole music video by myself, with no one pressing the record button. And I like every month. That's my goal. I have a baby on the way, which is pretty dope,
man.
I'm really excited about that. A lot of people like say that that's going to be the end of my rap career, but I'm like, if you want to do something, you're going to do it. And that's how I feel.
No, absolutely.
And I want to model that for my kid too. Like I want to show my kid what it is to have a work ethic and like to actually like go after something and not be afraid of what people think about you and enjoy the process of going after that thing. And so I plan one single every month. Hopefully an album at some point. But again, like we talked about, kind of like an album when I have a following. I don't really have much of a following right now. And one of the things I do want to talk about is how ironic it is that no matter how many friends you have, because I have a lot of friends, the people who support you first are never your friends.
Dude,
it's always random
exactly.
people.
Your hometown or anything shows you love the like,
least.
Once you like fucking blow up,
The least.
What the fuck were you like? No, that's so true. Like your closest people would not support you until
ever.
Yeah,
And like if
they're the first one to talk shit.
Yeah, they're the first one to talk shit,
You know
or
what I
like
mean?
say nothing. And it's like it's crickets.
Yeah.
And like you know, like I have so many close friends who like I can't believe the lack of support that I get from them. And like I've gotten on Instagram like drunk before and like been mad and like, but I realize like that's not what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to like just draw the attention to the idea of like if you're an artist and you're not getting backed by the people who you feel like should be backing you, and then they start making you doubt yourself, like, oh shit, maybe I'm not as good as I think I am. Like that's the most normal thing.
That's normal, yeah.
Yeah, like you have to be prepared to like put yourself out there, hear crickets for a little while, expect no support. And also like to your friends, when you have the opportunities in organic ways, like to tell them like this is what it is for you. And like some people are gonna be like, I don't want to be your friend anymore, like not say it formally to you, but like you won't have that relationship that you used to have with them, and you kind of have to be okay with that.
And that's fine, you know, over time. It's if it's meant to be, you do your shit, and if people falls off, by all means
they fall off,
you know. So it's like fuck that.
Yeah. And I've like, you know, like you don't get like, I've gotten caught in years past into like, when I make it, I'm never inviting them to anything, I'm never bringing them along. Like it's not about that. You don't do it for that. You don't do it so that you could say you made it and then give people spoils. You do it because you love it. Yeah. And if you don't do it because you love it, then you shouldn't be doing it, and you're not going to make it. So that's my thing with it. But I want to shout out all my friends who have supported me, the people in these groups that I'm talking about that are the rare randomness that actually like have the balls to be like, yo, you're legit. Shout out Sutton, shout out Posey, shout out Ronnie, shout out Jay. All the people who comment on the post when nobody does, all the people who said, send me your shit. Shout out Jack Scott, my friend Kyle, just like people who really cared about me and like believe that I have something that is worth doing. So
no, absolutely. Fucking you're dope at what you do. As long as you fucking keep on doing it, man, fucking sky's the limit.
That's what I'm saying.
And so how do you feel about doing another, you know, a little bit of another rap or some shit for us?
Let's get it on, my friend.
All right, let's get to it.
Let's get the bells ringing, my friend. Let's do it.
Awesome.
The meshing of like words in your head is like... Louie C Rhymes. One time. Slightly ignorant. Get into it. Yo. We in a different kind of vibe nowadays with hip-hop. If it pops doesn't even mean that shit's hot. The game is such a joke, give me laughs like Chris Rock. I'm lit, stop, your trash won't last like TikTok. I'm nasty, the other MCs don't compare me. I'm cash, I rule everything around like the clan G. You ask me, I want the throne like the clergy. You mad weak, the kid is finna blow like a gas leak. Pass beef, raid like fat kids in pantries. Damn, I'm living for today, your shit is last week. Mad bleak, your shit don't land like bad knees, like trampolines. Stomping out these haters like a dance team. Fans need someone that's got a flow different. Y'all living in a cage, y'all got to know Nicholas. I'm outside your range, I got my own litmus. This shit is a phase, I've outgrown the whole business. Next time you try to judge a rapper by his views, chances are he lying and he probably buying views. Next time you need heat but can't acquire fuel, you should come to me cause I am fire in the booth. Ha, Lou. Yeah. Thank you, Raph. Thank you, Brian. Shout out Slightly Ignorant. Love.
Dope freestyle, man. Thank you for that.
Appreciate you, my
The
brother.
audience will definitely appreciate that. Yeah, so if you don't mind, where can someone, you know, find more about your work and, you know, where they can, like, I know you have a website, like if you sign up for your, you know, your email shit, you get they get notified every time you release something. So where they can, you know, find you.
So check out the website, LouieCRhymes.com. All the things that I'm about to mention are there. They're housed there. Shout out to Hip Hop Heals. They just had an article. They just did a article about me in a blog post They did like an interview with me and shared that. So that's on the website. But in terms of all the music, everything is there. All the links are there. You can find me on SoundCloud. So my name is Louie C Rhymes. No tricks, no extra crazy spelling. The way it sounds is the way it is. If it's on a platform that there's, handles, there's no spaces in it. So it's just at Louie C Rhymes, no spaces. And on SoundCloud, I'm on Spotify, I'm on Apple Music, I'm on Deezer, I'm on Amazon Music, I'm on tons of different places. I'm on YouTube. Where else would I be?
Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn.
I'm on Twitter. Yeah. Same handle throughout every single thing. I learned that the hard way. Having different handles makes people confused. So yeah, Louie C Rhymes, at Louie C Rhymes on every single thing. Website is LouieCRhymes.com. And you can find links to everything there. And my Instagram is LouieCRhymes.com, and that's usually where I'm most active on social media.
Word. Hell yeah. Yeah, guys, thank you for listening to another episode of These Slightly Fucking Ignorant. Yo, Louie, thanks for coming out, bro. And we hope to have you again pretty soon.
I'll be back.
Slightly